What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. So today we are working on our fan setup. So our radiator and our fan, we're going to build some brackets for it and get all that buttoned up here, and then that'll be done and we can move on to something else. We're getting real close to firing up this engine, and we got to tie up loose ends basically. So yeah, we're gonna get after this fan and then we can move on to something else. Okay, so we got a rad in here and we're trying to figure out how to mount it. I was gonna use the old rad support that I had, but that's not gonna work because I can't mount my fans to it and all that fun stuff. But we also have another problem. This engine's a little bit taller, and when I put the air cleaner on it and I look like this, the air cleaner stood up about here. So I've been looking for a cowl hood, and it's just more money that I really didn't want to have to spend. But you know, sometimes you go to a parts place and you find what you need, and I found some stuff, and I'm hoping we'll check and see. I got a drop base here. I'm hoping that my only I'm just wondering about the linkage, but if we put this on. Oh, what? No way, there's room under there? All right, so let's get the air cleaner on it and see what it looks like. All right, moment of truth. Oh, that looks good. It sits down quite a bit more than the other one. You can't see the sniper, but that's gonna be a lot closer for the hood. I think we can make that work. That's awesome. It's always great when you find something that's gonna work. But something else that I bought, so another problem, was the throttle linkage and what we were gonna do with that. Well, I mean, it's only money. You can always find something if you look hard enough. So we bought this for a linkage, and that'll mean I don't have to build anything. I can get rid of this rusty thing, and that should solve that problem. Now the radiator, how am I gonna mount it? So I got 3 holes along here for the old radiator holder, I guess you could call it, but I'll show you what I got for there. So I got these, and they're slotted, so they fit rad just like that. So my plan is to take 3 of those, and we'll put 1 at each bolt, and we'll build a plate that comes across here and catches all 3 bolts and all 3 mounting brackets. We'll put a couple on the bottom. That'll secure the radiator. And then off of that plate that I make to hold the radiator, I can build all my brackets, everything I need for mounting my dual fan setup. So when you're doing stuff like this, and especially when you're on a budget, kind of like I am, where you're trying to utilize stuff that you have. I live a long ways away from going to just buy what I need, and a lot of this car is custom. It's not just off the shelf stuff. So I try to reuse stuff. And one thing that, so here's the rag cover I was using, but I managed to find the original one that came in the car, and check this out. So yes, it's dirty, but it lines up to all my holes, and with my blocks in here, that hole lines up. So if I put another hole there, it'll line up with those 2. We just have to tweak this a little bit so that it pulls down. Hopefully this isn't sitting up too high, that it's okay, but I think that's gonna work. And then what I'll do is I'll attach, or I'll make a bracket on here, because everything is pretty tight here. So I'll make a bracket on here that my fan shroud can bolt to. So you got to think outside the box sometimes. And I was thinking, I was like, I know the old support was shorter. I knew it fit, like it bolted in. So it was just a matter of finding it. And I keep everything. So I looked on my shelves and I finally dug it out. It's been buried for 4 years, but this is gonna work. So I'm gonna do some tweaking on this thing. I'll show you what I come up with. I like it. So we just tweaked it here and here and here just to give it a little bit more angle. And I mean, it's in there solid. It can't go side to side. That is good. I like that. So now we got to figure out how to mount our shroud on there. So we're either going to have to weld something on the front of here that comes down like this, or basically just down and over, not very deep, and then our shroud can bolt up to it. All right, so we got our fans sitting in there. So it's basically gonna go right like that. And the shroud fits in there perfect. So we just got to make a bracket that comes off of this now, and we can catch these bolts, or these nuts, and that'll hold the top, and then we'll either build something for the sides or do the bottom as well. So we need a way to come down off of this and over to catch these 4 bolts there. And so this is what I come up with. I got a piece of 1/8 tubing here, and we're just gonna cut out 1 inch by 1.5 inches, and then that'll give us basically a piece of angle iron. I don't have a brake and a shear here, and I don't have time to phone and get these parts bent and then go pick them up. It's easier for me to grab the grinder and basically just cut what I need. So that's what I'm up to. And I got looking. If you look, half of my rad doesn't even show. I'm almost thinking of cutting all that out. That side's okay, but I think we might cut this out here, and that'll give us a little bit more cooling. We got it all tacked up here, and everything fits the way it should. So we'll tear it all apart, we'll weld it out, we'll clean all this up, paint it, and then the top is all done. And then we'll lift the car up and we'll figure out how we're gonna attach the bottom. Because it needs to have support on the bottom. That fan is absolutely a beast. So I wanna have it supported top and bottom. So yeah, that's, if I can put 4 bolts in the bottom, great. And that'll be that. So I'm gonna get this tore off, get it welded out, and we'll get this cleaned up, we'll get it primed, everything, and get it put back together. Well, there it is. Now, I thought about painting this and trying to make it look nice, but I kind of like the rustic look. And it has the 307 decal on it too. I figure all this will be coming back apart at some point to get it all painted. So when that time comes, we'll paint that. But this way, I don't know, it just kind of shows what I've done. But I mean, it's in there solid. This is good. So we're gonna lift the car up and we'll look underneath and see what we can do underneath it. So here's what I came up with for the underneath. I basically just used the brackets that came with the fan setup and then pieced them together to make this bracket. So that should work good, I think. It's pulled in nice and tight around the whole thing. It's bolted down through here. So if I ever have to take the fan setup out, I just have to pull these two bolts out and yeah, and then take the top plate off and it'll lift out. So our fan setup's pretty much finished up. I'm gonna let the car down and I'll show you exactly everything, how it's finished, and we'll move on to the next thing.